Hello and welcome to this edition of Consider This with Charles Lake. On this edition, we're going to speak about Social Security and how it wasn't properly thought out to keep Social Security running. It's still not running right, and the Republicans want to cancel it because Elon Musk says it's a Ponzi scheme. And I want to show you it's not a Ponzi scheme, it's just that the rich don't pay their fair share. And so I'm going to take you over to the letter I wrote to my Congressman Panetta, and Diane is his office manager in the town I live. And she saw me at the town hall in Cambria, and she said that she'd share this. So, and this has nothing to do with Diane. Diane's been very helpful to me on several matters, especially getting my military records. So I told them how I was sitting in a place where they didn't come over to ask questions. And I know the contribution and benefit base in 2025 is $176,100. And I think it should be $1 million. That way a fair share is paid by the corporations and the millionaires and billionaires that run these companies that make the rules and regulations. And you can go ahead and slow this down, but millionaires usually get their Social Security taxes paid within 30 days. Now, Connecticut Representative John Larson, and he wrote the act, and he wants to bump it up to $400,000. Well, think about it. That's people that are in the range of workers. So this is all based on workers' salaries. And it has been since the beginning, and that's why we're losing Social Security, because the rich don't pay their fair share. If they paid their fair share, we would have enough to have an average paycheck that would keep people alive, instead of having people on Social Security that are below the poverty rate. And I know this for a fact. In 1992, I was poisoned while unloading food product. And for about the last 5 years of my income was about $85,000 to $90,000 a year. And in 1992, the contribution and benefit was the taxes that we paid into Social Security was only $55,500. And because I was an independent contractor, I paid 12.4% of my income into Social Security. So I made $30,000 to $35,000 more. So I felt that I should have got a living wage. When I got poisoned, it was not my fault. In fact, a lot of people are being poisoned and they have no idea. I started receiving checks from Social Security for $590 a month to support my wife and the 3 children that are my stepchildren and my daughter. And it took me 33 years to go from $590 a month. Now I receive a little over $1,200 a month. I'm still under the poverty rate, And just because the rich don't pay their fair share. And the minimum wage back in 1992 was $4.25. I know you kids nowadays laugh at that, but that's what the minimum wage was. And you know, I suggest $1 million for Social Security. Instead, these corporations, I figure that the CEOs who get the $1 million a year for making the rules and regulations that poison the public and their workers to keep the costs down should pay their fair share. So this is what I suggested. The contribution and benefit should be raised from $176,000 to $100 to in the future. And to just raise it to $400,000 would be a slap in the face to the American public, because the rich still don't pay their fair share. CEOs make between $850,000 to over, some of them make 200, not 200,000, but $100 million a year. So why not raise it to $1 million? So at least they're paying something. They collect Social Security. I believe the top payout right now is almost $3,500, and that's for all the millionaires. So in billionaires, but us people that have to work, our payout is below the poverty level. So in raising Social Security benefit base, contribution and benefit base to $1 million, it would make people have a living wage so they can pay their rent, pay for their food. SNAP benefits would go down, and we're not going to see this with Donald Trump in office, and the Republicans in power. Donald Trump is all about Donald Trump, and he's always been about Donald Trump. Like I said, I met him back in the 70s. I was just a truck driver. I've been a truck driver most of my life. Not really. I've been a professional patient most of my life, 33 years. But for 18 years, I was a truck driver. And I happened to run into him several times in delivering food products down in New York City. And I thought he was a pompous ass. So corporations get away with... Now, this is the other thing you got to think of. Corporations walk away after people start collecting Social Security. When you get hurt, you're on workman's compensation for 1 year. And if they can't fix you in that year, you get switched over to Social Security. A lot of people nowadays get switched over to state benefits, welfare, because it's taken Social Security so much time to catch up, because there's so many people being put on Social Security because of injuries and because of the poisoning that's happening, because nobody's making these corporations do their due diligence in putting out their product. And this is just wrong. So they get to walk away, and the government or the employee, because Social Security is basically based on employee pay, is paying for their own injuries. And this is wrong. So if you're a Republican and you make less than $176,100 a year, which most 94% of the people in America pay year round. And if you pay year round, you have to be making under $176,100. So you're biting yourself in the butt for not pushing your representatives to do what's in your best interest and not what's in Trump's best interest. So Social Security's going broke because it's only been based on workers' wages. If it was based on at least partially on CEOs' wages, and when the CEO gets a raise, they should take an average of what the raises are and give that to Social Security instead of this lame 2%. This is in order to keep up with the CEO's wages, we're going to have to give more of a raise to the people on Social Security because the workers are paying for Social Security as it's been set up since 1935. I believe that's when it was created. So since 1935, most of the people that are working are the basis. It's based on workers' salary, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. When you go from $85,000 to $90,000 a year, and this was in 1992, so I was making decent wages. I owned my own truck. That's why I was making decent wage. And you go from that to a little over $9,000 a year. You're getting 10% of what you used to make. That's ridiculous. And that's what I try to point out in this. And I'm hoping that you write a letter to your representatives, especially in the red states and in red areas of the blue states, and tell them, come on, if you're not going to do it for me, adios. You're not going to be my representative. And you have to do it also in the states for your state representatives. And we have to make them aware that this is not fair and we're not going to take it no more. And like I said, I am not a Republican and I am not a Democrat. I'm an independent. And another thing I have a problem with is I gave a call to the Democratic Club here because I wanted to see if I could get some help with this. And I was told I could come to the meeting and they would talk to me about being a Democrat. I'm not looking to become a Democrat. Back when I was working, I had the thoughts of a Republican. I busted my butt. Everybody should bust their butt. I didn't take into the concerns of other people. And I found out when I got poisoned in '92 just how much of a jerk I was. And then the Democrats were helping me. So I decided, well, let me think about this, and I'll become a Democrat. And then I needed help with the problem I was having for quite some years. And Kirsten Gillibrand was running for congressperson. And she told me she could help me, and I went out and got her votes and everything, and she walked away from me. She didn't do anything she said she was going to do to help me and to get information out on the poisoning and how everybody's being poisoned with the plastics and the polystyrene, and the fact that the state of Connecticut stole 3 children of mine. And actually gave me custody of 1 and took 3. But so that's the reason why I will never become a Democrat. I have some of their views. I would help them out in some ways, just like if a Republican started getting things together and doing things right, I would help them, and I have in the past. But I'll vote my conscience and vote for whoever's going to do what I think they need to do. So, and this is something that I think they need to do. I think they should bump the contribution and benefit from 100 to 1 million. And I thank you for listening, and I hope that we can get this going. And please subscribe and hit the like button, hit the dislike button. That'll tell me a lot. But like I say, if you're going to send me email, and this is my email address, please. I don't need a date. I've been married for 44 years. And I don't need threats. I've had heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and everything else. The way I figure it, that I don't know how to say this. So, my God will take me when He's ready, just like He takes everybody else. So, please don't send me any junk. Have a good day. I hope this helped you.